All right, so Avenue Liquor's having a wine tasting this Friday. And let's talk to the wine guy. Hello, wine guy.
Hi, how you doing?
A guy who doesn't know much about wine, but he's taken his lady out for dinner. He's never really drunk wine before. What do you recommend to him if he's going to have like a steak?
A steak, I would go with a light red wine, something like a Beaujolais or a Pinot Noir, because it doesn't have a lot of tannins and it's all about the fruit.
Yeah.
And, we can all relate to fruit. I mean, even if you don't have wine, we've all had fruit before.
Yeah.
So it's light and smooth, and you can actually chill it. So it's just a very good beginner wines if people want to start drinking red wines. Most people that start off in wines drink kind of the soda pop wines, because we have basically
soda pop wines.
Yeah, like things like
the sparkling sweet ones, you mean?
Yeah, very sweet wines like Moscato or Riesling and things like that.
Oh, I see.
It's just because we're used to drinking soda pop as a beverage.
Yeah.
So, but as you get your palate's always changing, like your hair, so you become more, let's say, sophisticated in terms of what you're drinking, and you move on to different wines.
So, what shouldn't you eat if you want to if you don't want to ruin your palate before you drink wine? What things should you not eat?
Well, you shouldn't eat anything you shouldn't eat any desserts like chocolate and stuff like that. Just wipe out your palate. Your palate's a very delicate thing, and something like that. Just anything that's just totally overwhelms your palate. You can drink water or have some crackers or something neutral to bring your palate back to normal, but usually people don't do that. People don't have crackers after having chocolate. It's just not one of those things.
Now, at a tasting, you don't eat stuff with a tasting, right? You just
what you should do when you do a tasting is imagine what you would eat with it. And so that's always good. Obviously, in certain situations when you have wine tastings, there's food matches with it and stuff like
cheese
that,
and
crackers and stuff like that. But here we really don't have the ability to do that.
So it's just to taste the wine here.
You imagine what you're going to have. Like I can suggest to you that this is a good spaghetti wine, and you would try it. Oh yeah, I can see it. You can imagine what the flavors would be like, and with the companionship of the wine.
Now, when I see the guys on TV going swallowing and spitting it in a bucket, tell me about that.
Well, that's obviously because they don't want to get intoxicated. It's like, because a wine judge and, or something like that.
Oh, that's the only reason, huh?
That's primarily the reason,
I thought it was something about if you drank it, it would ruin your palate.
Well, no, it's because your tongue gets, you get intoxicated, and you kind of lose the critical judgment that you should have when you have wine.
But you can taste it without swallowing it. He knows what it is, and it's like...
Yeah, it is. It's a skill that's acquired. It's not the same experience, but if you do a lot of spitting, you can evaluate wine just as well as if you swallowed it.
And you can taste the grape, and you can taste the region like that.
Yeah, you can do some of that, but now most wines have become more of there's a more generic international style wine. The regional factors, they still around, but they're not as prevalent as they once were.
Now, I read something that in the 1860s that France had an infestation in all the vineyards, and they imported California vines. And that's what you have the roots of now.
Yeah, the rootstocks. Yeah,
yes.
And the rootstocks is a root loss called phylloxera, and it attacked it back in the 18th and 19th century. It was brought over from the United States. It's unknown in France and Europe in general, and it basically destroyed all the rootstocks. So they grafted over to American rootstocks.
Yeah.
But there's still, some of the original Bordeaux rootstock in Chile, because the phylloxera is unknown there.
Yeah.
So
there's California wines are very good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good. I think, particularly Napa and Sonoma wines are world class. I mean, not every appellation in California is world class, but certainly Napa and Sonoma wines.
The brands we're carrying here tonight for the tasting.
Well, we're doing today, since it's warmer out there, we're doing a Sauvignon Blanc and a Pinot Grigio, and these are both from California. The Sauvignon Blanc is just a very fruity kind of wine. It is a clone of Pinot Noir, and it's just very, very generous in its fruit. It's a patio wine. You can just sit there and sip it all day. Sauvignon Blanc is also a patio wine, but this is much more
explain patio wine.
Patio wine.
Oh, patio. Sitting on the patio.
Sitting on the patio, patio wine.
All right.
Yeah, so there's barbecue wines, there's pizza wines and stuff like that. Because it's always about, food and wine, which is, food and wines like Batman and Robin, Laurel and Hardy, they're inseparable. They're really
Sure.
inseparable. So you have like light cheeses or something like even crackers with some of these wines, and
Yeah.
it makes it a much more enjoyable
Yeah.
experience.
I also read that the French live 10 years longer than us because even as a child, you have a glass of red wine, it completely degreases the
Yeah.
mouth, and it's very good
Well,
for you.
just
red wine.
remember that it takes so many grapes to produce wine.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. It's like superfruit, and that's why the antioxidants and everything, like particularly red wine.
Yeah.
White wine's a little bit different, but it is not as healthy for you as red wine
Very good.
because the antioxidants come from the skins, just like like blackberries or blueberries and other things
Yeah.
are very similar. But there's no question that moderate, of course, the emphasis on moderation.
Yeah.
Like if you're a couple and you split a bottle of wine a day, that's really actually pretty good,
That's great.
good red wine. But it's not all red wines. You have to spend a little bit of money on it. Some of the really lower ends, like the $2 chucks and stuff like that, they add so many additives and stuff like
Not
that.
really
The
wine.
health, you don't know
Yeah,
if they're
sure,
healthy or
sure.
not.
So wine is kind of like a food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, what else have you got? Off the top of your head, what's some good wines that you recommend to people to buy?
Well, I for as far as Cabernet Sauvignon is really quite nice. I mean, it's really and we make it so well here in California because people like to particularly eat heavy foods with red wine, and that's the #1 choice. But in this store we do selling a lot of Spanish wines because we have an Hispanic clientele here. So we sell a lot of Spanish wines, Chilean wines, and Argentinian wines, and those are really good wine values, and they're produced very well. And the thing is, there's essentially 3 categories of wine. There's everyday, premium, and ultra premium. You can buy Argentinian wines, which are premium quality, for everyday prices, which means under $9.99.
Interesting. Very good.
And same with Spanish wines. It's all about the cost of production and vineyards. The same thing that involves in any cost of any particular manufactured item.
But these you consider real wines versus
Yeah, they're real wines. They don't. There's traditional things that are done like barrel aging and stuff like that, been done for centuries, and those are
Fine wines,
those are considered artisan type of methods to produce wines. The thing is, when they start using like a chemistry set to produce wines, the wines aren't that
it's
good.
not wine anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what? You could get a job doing this.
Yeah, you can get paid for drinking wine, and I have done that for decades.
That's great. Well, we got to come and hang with you on Friday, man.
Oh yeah.
So what's your name?
7. I'm Frank Marquez.
Marquez. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Marquez. Bloody good talking to you. You know a lot about wine, sir. You certainly do.
Yeah, it's always been my companion.
We'll spread the word.
Okay,
Have
well,
people
thank you.
come down and see you.
All right, I appreciate
All right.
it.
All right, so Avenue Liquor, corner 9th and Orange. Nathan is the owner. Mention my name, and as I say, they'll probably throw you out, but we're going to show up here on Friday with some people and taste some wine. We're coming for Friday, Nathan, for the wine tasting.
Okay,
We'll be
please
here.
come on in. We got a beer and wine tasting
Right
at
on.
the same time.
We're going to bring some
With the
people in.
specialist Frank Marquez.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, that's it. Al Graham for the Coronado Clarion. Wine tasting Friday.